Welcome back to the TBC show, where we teach and educate you on how to take back control of your life, health, and wealth. And the biggest thing I want to do today is essentially go through a little bit about my story and how I came to be here teaching you guys how to take back control of your life, health, and wealth. Now, put simply, I have come from pretty humble beginnings. I don't think I really have come from a point, or I haven't come from a life where I've lived in luxury or anything like that. I'm pretty down to earth. But the biggest thing that I want to get through to you right now is that I came from a point of where I had -$7 in my bank account. I was broke. And I want to quickly just delve into this story about how my mate came to me with a business idea, a proposition, and I felt so horrible that I couldn't actually help him with the idea and the proposition because I literally had -$7 in my account at the time of him coming to me, which made me feel like crap. It made me feel horrible. I don't know if you've ever had that before, if you yourself have ever been in a position where you've been completely broke. You are pretty much, I at the time was in super scarcity mode because I had been in a few accidents and was also in about $6,000 worth of debt due to said accidents. And I just want to go through what I did to get myself and to pull myself out of that, because I went from that $5,000 of debt to now being where I am today, and thankfully I am much better off. I live in my own home. I have my own business. I do believe that I could have successfully navigated COVID-19 through that as well, and we've been able to get our business back up and running, and in fact we're slowly getting back to where we were beforehand as well. So I want to go through a little bit of how I got myself to that situation, and why I was able to pull myself up out of that situation, and to the biggest thing as to why I actually created Take Back Control in the first place. So I was 18 years old at the time, and leading up to said appointment with my friend, I had just had about 3 accidents in the space of a week and a half. Thankfully, one of them I did not have to claim for because it was really damage to my own car. And I didn't really care. It was a 4-wheel drive. It was a bit of a tank at the time. So there was nothing really that I needed to claim for. However, over the space of about a week and a half, I went up the back of 2 different cars, one being a taxi and one being an older station wagon. I remember it happening, and the emotions I felt at the time was, it was quite large, of course. Like, I remember my brother being in the vehicle when I hit the second car, and I just had all these emotions well up in me. My stomach was all the way down in the pit of my it was all the way down, and I should say my heart was all the way down in the pit of my stomach, and I was angry at myself, frustrated, I was pissed at the other person, I was all these things and more. And that is what essentially led to me getting into about $5,000 to $6,000 of debt that I owed to an insurance company, because I didn't have any money at the time. At the time, I was working at a retail job that was giving me $50 to $60 a week, was literally only paying for my fuel. I was not really doing much else apart from study, and it was a really crap situation. I wanted to go out with friends. For the whole 2 months, I couldn't do anything because I just had no money. I couldn't go out with friends and drink, and I couldn't do any of the things that I really wanted to do, go out and party and things like that. But the biggest thing, the most important thing that I think I got from it was I got to the point where I couldn't help a friend out. I couldn't help a friend with a business idea, a proposition, in fact. And for myself, that was a huge deal because one, I pride myself on being able to help my friends and being able to be there for them. But two was I couldn't actually get on board with this idea, and I couldn't actually do it because I had no money. And from this understanding, from the feeling of being broke, from the point in my life where I had -$7 in my account, I've been overdrawn. And I remember this specifically because I looked at my account when he asked me if I could help him out, if I could give a little bit of money to get this idea up and running. And I remember looking at my account and seeing -$7.01 to be exact. And it stuck with me for the last 10 years. And I vowed that day, in fact, that I would never get back to where I was, get back to that point where I was -$7 in my account, back to the point where I was broke, where I had a scarcity mindset. And I just want to reiterate to you guys that that decision is what helped me to become the person I am today. That decision and that feeling of being broke, of being poor, the embarrassment, the I guess you could say, like, the disappointment I had in myself, all of these feelings, all of these things came to a forefront and pretty much created the trajectory that I got into my life. Now, the other thing that helped out was, of course, I started doing personal training and started my own sole trader business, and that was based on the fact that I guess I definitely would call him a mentor. He reached out and said that you should do this and take up this opportunity. I talked to people and they all said it was a bad idea, but I did it anyway. All because I knew that deep down, I wanted to work for me and I wanted to take control of my life, because I knew that working for others didn't allow me the control I wanted. And not to say that that won't be the same for you, because everyone is different, because you can be successful working for someone else. It just depends on who you are. But I just want to reiterate the fact that when I was broke, when I saw that -$7 in that account, it is literally what propelled me forward to take action and to start doing the things that I needed to do, because I sat down and I had to stop and think. I had to figure out how was I going to be able to get myself to a point where I felt comfortable and confident in myself financially, so that I could find a girlfriend, be able to not just do that, but also be with my friends at the time, go out and party and do things like that. Money, in some sense, can and does give you happiness. Because I can tell you right now, when I had -$7 in my account, I was not happy. I was angry, like I said. I was frustrated. I was full of, I guess I say, hatred for myself. And it wasn't a good feeling. So this path that it led me down, where I definitely said that I would never want to feel this again. Never want to get to this point. Never want to get to the point where I felt like I did. And that's what has pretty much drawn me to the fact to be able to start my own business, be able to start this podcast / YouTube video, YouTube show. It's the focal point of change. And that's the most important thing I want you to understand for today, is that change does not happen unless you feel uncomfortable, unless you feel like you have gone past the point of no return. And I see this every day as a gym owner and a personal trainer. And I see this every day when it comes to people wanting to get fit and healthy. And they come in but their pain is not enough. Their emotional attachment to the goal is not enough. And I can guarantee you right now, if you can find a point in time where you were emotionally attached to a point, if you were attached to a certain situation or scenario, and you said to yourself that I don't want to feel this ever again, that's going to set you up to become someone else. And it's going to help you to take back control as well, because we all come from either pain or pleasure. And sometimes pain can be such a big draw card. It can be a really great motivator. Now, we don't want to use it all the time. However, we want to be able to use that pain that we felt in the past to go towards the pleasure that we want for our future, the vision that we want for our future. And that's the whole crux of taking back control. So until next time, guys, I'm going to leave it there. But until next time, take back control.